What's going on, guys? This is Miasin, and today I'm actually going to be doing a triple deck review. I haven't made a deck review video in so long, and the reason for that is because I've kind of implemented a new rule, which meant that if you didn't top a locals, you couldn't really submit your deck list. So I was getting literally no deck list submissions, and the reason for that was because people clearly showed no interest in watching videos where people weren't topping, but at the same time, people were sending me so many deck lists with absolutely no tops. So I was kind of put in a delicate situation where I would either make the casuals happy by showing their deck list on my YouTube videos, or I would make practically nobody happy by doing nothing. So now I'm wondering if I should actually kind of do an in-between where I technically allow everyone to make deck reviews, but at the same time I make several deck reviews in one video and I kind of go over them really fast instead of just always showing like a really in-depth changes that I would bring to the deck, etc. So if I see something that I feel I should disagree with, I'm going to let you know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to be reviewing 3 decks today, and if this video gets 1,000 likes, this will be an official new series that I will be adding to my channel, and it won't just be a one-time thing. So yeah, definitely make sure you smash the like and subscribe button, and let's jump into the first one. So this was Lunalight, Tri-Brigade. Interesting. So 3 Kaleido Chick. Of course, this card's really good. It's a Foolish from your deck or extra deck to the grave, and for cost. So if your opponent goes Valor, it doesn't do anything because you're still sending the card. The only real effect is copying the name of the monster, which isn't even... It doesn't even change that much to begin with. And it has also other effects where I think if it's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can recycle back a polymerization in your grave, and if it is banished, your opponent cannot use cards or effects during the battle phase. So this, when Sky Striker used to be a thing, was pretty good because your opponent couldn't just Widow Anchor you on battle phase, he couldn't revive back Ray. There were a lot of things that was... That just made Kaleido Chick insanely good, but yeah, this card is really cool, especially in conjunction with Tiger, which is banned, but Martin and Lunalight Perfume. Alright, the second card is Lunalight Crimson Fox. I don't think this card's good enough to the point where you really should be playing more than one copy. As a matter of fact, I don't even think you should be playing this at all, so... this, you should probably try considering cutting it. Emerald Bird is actually a fantastic card. I really like it a lot. I've always liked the card, to be honest. Even when Lunalight was full power, people were still playing one copy of Lunalight Emerald Bird, so they would get more draw power, and also it has a cool effect when it's sent to the graveyard by a card effect. So if you're playing Time Thief for Do in your deck, which I can see you're not... This card is even better, because I think it's a Monster Reborn. But yeah, so one of the first feedback that I have for you is try playing rank 4 monsters in your deck, especially in a deck that used to be there especially to make rank 4s. I know since Tiger got banned, it's a bit harder to make, but still... There's also something else that, just by looking at the deck list, I can immediately realize, and that's the lack of Fire Formation Tenki. This deck should be playing Tenki. It definitely should. So, yeah, again, consider what I just said. Alright, Purple Butterfly. This card also not necessarily the most popular one. It summons from the hand, so it's not a +1. It's also a level 3. For your deck, it's not the end of the world because you're especially using your Lunalight cards to link summon. So it definitely makes sense. And this card is actually a pretty good card to send off of Kaleido Chick. So at least playing it as a one-of makes sense, but... the second copy I don't think is needed, so you can actually just cut the Purple Butterfly to 1 and cut Crimson Fox honestly to 0, because I really don't think it's that good. Blue Cat. Blue Cat is actually a pretty good one. Well, not necessarily that it's a good one, but it's one of the better Lunalights that people don't really know about. So playing it as at 1 makes sense. Yellow Martin, I think 2 is a better number, just because it kind of does make you go +1 indirectly. I guess adding a Lunalight Sparrow Trap matters when you're playing Lunalight Fusion. So if you still want to keep playing Lunalight Fusion, well, first of all, I don't think you need this at 2 if you want to play it. But yeah, Yellow Martin do play at 2, or at least try playing it at 2. Yeah, Lunalight Wolf is actually a bomb. This card's really good. It's a Miracle Fusion, and it's like a soft once per turn. So if you can bounce it back with Martin and then activate it again, you're pretty much gooch. Alright, 3 Karis. Yeah, okay, sure, yeah, the 3 makes sense because it's easy to get a lot of discards. Unfortunately, it doesn't discard by a card effect, but rather for cost, so that's kind of a bit lame, but when you're banishing Kaleido Chick, this actually will trigger. So there is some nice synergy out there. And obviously they're all Beast Warriors, so yeah, again, another reason why you should definitely be playing Fire Formation Tenki, because you can search for Kaleido Chick or Wolf. Not Wolf, actually, that's false. Or you can search for Fractal, but yeah, pretty nice. 3 Nerval, of course, 2 Fractal. I think you should definitely be playing 3 if you play Tenki, but at the same... No, actually, no, I disagree with what I just said. I think 2 is definitely a respectable number on its own, so yeah, sure. 2 Kit, I think this is fair. 2 Ash, also another good ratio. Have you considered playing other... What kind of other hand traps could you play? Ghost Bell? In a way. Lancia, maybe. Diddy Crow, no. With Allure of Darkness? Maybe. Yeah, consider maybe playing Allure of Darkness. It's all of the Lunalights except for Wolf can be Allure targets, but I could be wrong. Maybe Phantasme, I don't know. I'm just... Skullmeister. I'm just giving random suggestions, but that's the main purpose of the deck reviews. Alright, 2 Polymerization. This card's really not that great. 2 Lunalight Fusion. 2 Tri-Brigade Airborne Assault. It's okay. 2 Desires. 1 Lunalight Perfume. This card's really overpowered, man. You should be playing 3. This card's really, really good. It's a Monster Reborn, and also it's a search card in the graveyard. So you can also play Foolish Burial Goods, which would be really nice with Lunalight Perfume. And then 2 Revolt, that's fine. 2 should be enough. However, you're not playing Bear Bloom. That makes no sense. You have to play Bear Bloom, man. So, again, consider playing Bear Bloom in your extra deck, maybe by cutting the 3rd Barren Blossom. There are a few cards that the ratios just don't really make any sense. Like the Silver Sheller, this card's not great enough to the point where 2 makes sense. So play the Harvel's Gur, the Desperate Doom Eagle, the Link 3 Winged Beast Wind that kind of DD Crows during either player's turn. It's like more of like a Transmigration Prophecy. It doesn't really banish, it shuffles back into the deck. But yeah, another good Link 3 that you can summon off of the Tri-Brigades. And then triple Solemn Strike, double Judgment. Judgment is garbage. Don't play the card. So if you cut it, you're gonna have more space in your deck for the cards that I actually mentioned, like Tenki and those other hand traps and stuff like that. Okay, so in the side deck, actually, a bunch of the hand traps that I listed are there. So Lancia and Skullmeister. Ghost Ogre is definitely not a good one at all. It's just been really bad for a while. So I wouldn't play this anywhere. Maybe consider playing Evenly or Lightning Storm. You're already playing Cyclone, which is good. Harpy's Feather Duster should be there because it always has like a huge impact. Makes more sense to play 1 Duster and then 2 Cyclone than 3 Cyclone, 0 Dusters. Twin Twister could be a good one. You have a bunch of cards that would be nice in the graveyard. And you can also pitch Nerval and Kit. So yeah, Twin Twister could be cool as well. And for the extra deck, a bunch of ratios that I really don't understand at all. I don't think you ever need 3 Cat Dancer under any circumstance. I think 2 is good. Panther Dancer 2, okay, sure, maybe you're foolishing it. Yeah, Leo Dancer at 1 makes sense because you're not using it as a material, but you're summoning it using Panther Dancer. Saber Dancer, I don't think this is a really good one, but I guess it's easily summonable with a Lunalight Fusion. And then the Link monsters that I don't really understand the ratios for, and then Boral Sword Dragon, which could be an Access Code Talker as well. But anyways, let's get into the next deck list, which is another deck that uses Tri-Brigade cards, this time with Zodiac. And this deck's a bit interesting because it plays a lot of it plays a lot of silver bullets. I don't know if you understand the definition, but it's a card that is only good against one specific kind of deck and garbage against everything else. So Eye of Justice Cycle Reader is only good against Drytron and Eldritch, and then against a few very small amount of rogue decks, but that's pretty much it. Apart from that, it's usually a Garnet in your hand. It does nothing at all. Literally nothing. So you could have actually asked yourself, oh, should I play Ghost Bell, Skullmeister, DD Crow, which are kind of like a relatively weak, low-impact cards, or play the giant, huge impact card that is going to be bad against the majority of decks. So I feel like for your mentality is a bit dangerous, but if it's your day, it's your day. So you're definitely taking a gamble. I can understand your perspective. It's just, don't hide yourself behind anecdotal evidence in a way, like, oh yeah, I played against 7 Drytrons that tournament, so trust me, I know what I'm doing. Like, yeah, but at the end of the day, when you go into YCS, everything becomes like RNG and last minute because you don't know what you're actually gonna play against. Like the YCS Niagara, my friend Simon played against like 7 Sky Strikers, and ironically, I only played against 2. So he was like, I was playing against the deck all day long. I was like, bro, in literally like 14 rounds or something, not 14, a huge number, but in like at least 12 or 13 rounds, I only played 2 Sky Strikers. So even though I was preparing myself mostly for the deck, because I thought it was going to be one of the most played, alongside Orchest, people didn't really play the deck that as much as I thought. So this is another thing that makes cards like silver bullet cards like Ally of Justice Cycle Reader very dangerous to play. Drolin Logbird, even though it is technically officially a silver bullet because it's only good against decks that need a lot of searches, so it's pretty garbage against Eldritch and a lot of decks. Joel is, oh, it always ends up being at least so powerful that if you do draw it against a combo deck, at least you're pretty much safe to stay in the game for one more turn. Same thing with Artifact Lancia, it's bad against a lot of decks. And then, Ash is the most generic but a very weak hand shop overall. And then Gamma is extremely powerful, but it's bricky. Anyways, for the Tri-Brigade lineup, they're way too standard, so I'm not going to explain a single one. Same thing with the Zodiac lineup. So the main point of discussion was really the hand shops. Definitely do consider playing Ghost Bell because it's good against Tri-Brigades. You can top deck Ghost Bell for turn and then negate Revolt with it, which is really cool. And Skullmeister is good universally against pretty much almost every single deck right now. It's one of the better hand shops to play. 3 Tenki makes sense, 2 Desires, great, Barrage, Call by the Grave. Nothing bad to say here. Triple Revolt 3 is a good ratio as well. I like it. Alright, Anti-Spell at 3, and then the Imperial Order. The Imperial Order definitely should stay. The Anti-Spell, I don't know if main decking 3 makes too much sense. I think 3 is a bit too much. Maybe side deck 2, and then main deck 3 strikes, or 3 more hand shops, or 3, I don't know, just back removal, stuff like that. I don't know, a mix of like Tactic Talents and some other cards. I can't really think right now too much, but this deck doesn't really seem like it's good enough going second to the point where it can easily break boards, because the Tri-Brigade cards, you don't have a lot of pushes with those cards. You have your normal summon, and then you have your special summon off of Ceres, and then that's pretty much it. You have literally nothing else after that, and every time you try to use the effect of a Tri-Brigade, you're paying a pretty huge sum of resources by banishing at least 2 Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast from your graveyard. So, yeah, if you don't really have that much fuel, it's going to be a bit hard for you. And when you're playing too many trap cards, I don't feel like it's really helping your strategy, proactively just hurting your opponent. But if you can't really get your stuff going, well, you shouldn't really consider your opponent a part of the equation in the first place, because the first priority would be to get your engine started. Anyways, for the extra deck, sure, yeah, the Zodiac cards, Zeus, 2 Bear Bloom, what? 2 Baron Blossom, way too much. 1, yeah. 1 of each is enough if you play correctly by link summoning them instead of always trying to, summon them with the effect of your Tri-Brigades, because if you properly link summon, then Revolt can revive them back, and then you link them off, and then you search or use the effect. Really, link summoning Bear Bloom properly is one of the biggest things when you're playing Tri-Brigades, so I definitely do appreciate that play. It actually has, by the way, a really neat first effect that I never use, but yeah. Anyways, apart from that, yeah, I just have a bit of an issue with these 2 ratios, playing 2 of each. I understand why you're doing it, it's just I don't think it makes too much sense right now. But anyways, the third and final deck review is going to be a pretty fun one. So Fossils, and that's the deck that I have absolutely no idea what it does actually. So the first card is Weathering Soldier. If this card is distorted by battle or sent to the graveyard by a card effect, that's huge because there are a lot of ways to send cards like Weathering Soldier by card effects. So Mathematician, and then I think it's Miracle Rupture. It's a Foolish, and then if Fossil Fusion is in your grave, you draw 1 card. And the funny thing about this is that this card actually saw a bit of play in Emancipator. I don't think it is played anymore, but still. So Weathering Soldier is cool, and it would search for Fossil Fusion, or 1 card that specifically lists Fossil Fusion in its text from your deck to your hand. And yeah, once per turn during the end phase, it loses 600 attack, but nobody cares. You're especially just foolishing this, or you're just destroying it, and then yeah. Nemesis Keystone is a rock monster, so I guess rock monsters do have a tiny bit of synergy in this deck. So you can target one of your banished monsters, obviously shuffle it back into the deck and then special summon this during the end phase. If this card is currently banished and was banished this turn, you can add this card to your hand. I really don't think this card makes any sense to play in this deck. I don't really think it brings you anything, so I definitely wouldn't consider playing this card, just because maybe I don't see it, honestly. Or maybe one is enough, but it's not searchable because you're not playing Nemesis, I think, Flag, the name of the fire guy that searches from the deck, so this card doesn't really seem that great. Mathematician, a really cool one actually. You can Foolish for Weathering Soldier and then crash, draw one card, and then when you go Miracle Rupture, you Foolish again, and then if you had Fossil Fusion, then you draw another card. So it's really good at fueling your graveyard really fast and then getting you draws, so... Mathematician is definitely a good innovation in this deck, and you're playing so many Earths. Is there a way to capitalize off of the fact that your monsters are Earth? I don't know, maybe. Alright, 2 Gamma Seal, and then 1 Dark Kaiju, 1 Kumangas. Kumangas should be... No, yeah, there's really nothing. Yeah, being Earth changes nothing to your life. You could play Asa, and no, sorry, not Hita, Mrs. Radiant in your extra deck, but it's not like these cards... Well, the Pankratops is searchable because it has 0 defense, but the Kumangas definitely isn't. It has... Unless you're recycling back from your graveyard to your hand with Mrs. Radiant, I'm pretty sure it doesn't have any limit. It's just an Earth attribute. I could be wrong, but yeah. And then the Gamma Seal, maybe consider playing Gadarla instead, so you can actually Kaiju over the Wind Barrier statue. And the Radian... What's the point behind playing Radian? I don't really get it. Maybe. Yeah, it's a bit of an awkward one. Maybe play 1 Gamma Seal and then 2 Gadarla instead of the Radiant. Just, I don't really know why it's there. It has a lot of attack, actually. Gadarla has less attack, and it's a wind, which is just infinitely better. Anyways, Pankratops is just a great card overall in the game, so definitely am not against that. And also, this Fossil deck is the going second deck. It does absolutely less than nothing going first. Triple Gamma, Driver, Triple Droll, Triple Ash, Double Ghost Bell. How many hand traps is that? 3, 6, 9, 11. Ooh, 11 hand traps and like a bunch of Kaijus. 3 Fossil Fusion, yeah, of course, this is like the main card of the deck. 3 Miracle Rupture. It's so unfortunate that this card is randomly a once per turn, but at the same time, if it wasn't, it would have been kind of like a baby engage, a bad engage, but an engage nonetheless. And then, yeah, 2 Time Stream, target 1 Fossil Fusion monster you control, tribute it, and if you do special summon 1 Fossil Fusion monster from your extra deck whose original level is 2 or higher than that monster. Yeah, it's especially for the second effect, I think, that you're using it. You can banish it from your graveyard and 1 Fossil Fusion monster from your grave, then target 1 Fossil Fusion monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Okay, yeah, just unfortunate that it's not the turn it sent, because otherwise it would have been really cool with Foolish Burial Goods. And you could also send Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, but this card has the exact same problem, so Foolish Goods does not work in this deck at all. Apart from that, yeah, no Call by the Grave, Double Slumber, Foolish Burial. I don't think you really need Foolish Burial when you're already playing 3 other copies of Foolish Burial in a way. Or if you are playing Foolish, then maybe cut Rupture to 2. Otherwise, you're going to have way too many redundant cards. It's not really like if you drew Foolish and Rupture, you could do something like something new and something big, because you really can't. So yeah, definitely consider that. And it's honestly, let's just say this is comparable to the logic in Blue Eyes, where people didn't play 1 Foolish and then 3 Ravine. Or if they did, it was for a very short period of time before realizing that it made no sense. So yeah, people were cutting Shrine... No, I said Ravine? Shrine. Dragon Shrine. People cut Shrine to 2 and were playing Foolish Burial to 1, obviously, because it's limited. It's been limited literally since the release. But yeah, no, definitely probably try to do that, where you play 1 Foolish and then 2 Rupture, or 3 Rupture, 0 Foolish. But if you don't want to clog on once per turn cards, because if this card gets ashed, you can't do anything with it, maybe play 2 and 1. Anyways, 3 Forbidden Drop. Looks really expensive. And Dark Ruler No More is just a bad card this format. It's not really good against a bunch of strategies. Forbidden Drop doesn't look like it's great either, so I don't think I would be playing this. You should be fine with the hand shops and the kaijus, so yeah, probably cut this, and then Harpy's Feather Duster. Great card. Alright, the side deck now. Skullmeister. Yeah, again, another good card, to the point where main decking it would make sense. 2 Alive Justice Cycle Reader, so clearly the same guy as before. 2 Ghost Ogre, Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, Triple Cyclone, Triple Evenly Red Reboot. Red Reboot. Oh, this deck really OTKs? Really? Ah, interesting. Two Skullgar, three, no, yeah, oh my god, no, two Skull Bone, two Skull Knight, two Skull King, one Skull Gyosa. This card's really annoying. Well, the Skull King is probably one of my favorite ones. Gallon Granite, it's funny to see this in a deck that isn't at Emancipator. Relinquish Tanima, what are your level ones actually? Drulin Logbird and yeah, really? Okay, well sure. Link Rebull, Cross Sheep, Unicorn, Access Code. Yeah, I mean, when are you ever really accessing your extra deck in this deck anyways? But, yeah, anyways, that's pretty much it for the triple deck reviews. Real hope you guys were able to enjoy, learn a thing or two, etc. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Motivates me so much to keep making videos like these. And I will see you next time. Peace.